Now, many of you will know that one of the things that has been making, of course, Nio not being able to sell their cars as much into Europe is obviously the tariffs that are being imposed by the European Commission onto all exported EV cars into Europe. You will know that last year, October, November, Nio was hit with an additional, or EV companies from China were hit with an additional 20.8% over and above the 10% which was already imposed onto these exported vehicles from China into Europe. This led into obviously China, Nio, and the other companies indicating that it's not fair and it would be good that these tariffs fade away. And there has been talks between China and Europe, right? And they have not reached an agreement as yet. In fact, the last time we read about the interaction between the two parties, obviously it did not end that well. There was some positive sentiment rising, but at the end it did not bring forth much fruit. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is that I still on the screen notice that apparently the European Union and China are currently in talks to abolish the tariffs they impose onto China, or onto Chinese electric vehicle car companies like Nio. Now, this is one of the best news, or the good news, that I think we are reading also coming from Nio, or that can have a positive impact onto Nio, because like I'm telling you, or like I was just sharing now, EV tariff, these tariffs are the ones that are restricting the growth of Nio into EU in terms of sales. These tariffs, they are the ones that are making companies like Nio to not do that well in Europe. And knowing that China and EU, or the European Commission right now, they are in talks to abolish these tariffs, it is something that is good news, because guess what? Nio, it's already present into 5 European countries, and with the tariffs going to fall away or fade away, guess what? This is the biggest news this week, because Nio, as it stands, they not only will be selling their Nio cars, which obviously you know that they are a bit pricey, but they will be Onvo. There will be Firefly. Firefly, you will know that it is the very, very critical brand for Nio, especially outside of China, because that car is cheap. And knowing the kind of technology, knowing the kind of uniqueness that that car presents, or that brings to people, you and me can agree that without the tariffs, that car can do exceptionally well in Europe. And therefore, these talks that China and the EU Commission are having will bring massive solutions, or will bring massive success onto EV makers like Nio, because like I said, as it stands, they cannot do that well, because they are sitting with tariffs of over 30% in total onto their cars, and that makes them not to generate that much of sales, because you will know that they have to factor in the shipping cost or the exporting cost from China to EU. And with 30%, you and me can agree that there's nothing much that they can make from those cars. But if these tariffs, or the 30% tariff, is to be abolished, this could unlock massive sales onto Nio. And thank God Nio has prepared even the right cars like Firefly to do, or to easily penetrate the EU market and be able to do well. This is the biggest news, guys. And when I read this, I was very excited to say that delegates from the EU apparently are flying onto China, or they will be flying to China to have discussions about this, and to hear that these two parties are currently in talks to completely abolish the tariffs that are imposed onto Chinese electric vehicle car makers like Nio. It was the biggest news. This was so great, so amazing to see and know that Nio, it's a company that actually in Europe we can see them doing exceptionally well, especially with Firefly. You see, Nio, the thing is, obviously it's not a cheap car. Middle to upper income earners can afford that car, but obviously it's not cheap. Not all middle class people can afford that car. Only middle class income earners can afford the car, but with Firefly, lower to medium, that's the mass market brand that can change everything for Nio globally, which is something that is great. And man, I cannot wait to see what will happen next. Apparently, July this year, there is the China EU summit, which is expected to take place, and hopefully by then, or before we get to that, the two parties have come into an agreement, and these cars, or the Chinese EV cars, are already selling or doing well or are already being shipped into EU, which is something that is just so great. So yeah, man, it was good, so good to read about this. It was so good. And Firefly, knowing that next week on Saturday, Nio will be doing an official unveiling, the official launch, where China EV Homes has already given us the price, starting price, to say that it's going to be 130. It's going to have 130,000 RMB starting price with a battery, and without a battery, we can expect 90,000 RMB. 90,000 RMB, that's $12,000, which is something that is just so great, something that is very, very exciting. With this starting price with Boss, you can only imagine the kind of solid growth we'll see, obviously, in Europe when they ship this Firefly sub-brand in Europe. Obviously, you want to do obviously it won't be 12,000, it might be 15,000, 16,000, but that price, I think it will still be a decent price for Nio to be able to compete out there, which is something that is so great, something that is massive, and it makes me to want to load the boat. So yeah, man, I am very happy, I am very excited. I just thought I'd give you this quick update. Tell me what you think about this. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Those that are persevering throughout the heavens of the share price will be the ones to be rewarded. Hit that likes button, subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I give you latest developments about Nio, or that have an impact onto Nio daily. And all I ask from you is to give it a thumbs up and share this video so that this kind of information can get to as many people out there as possible. There are still tensions between the US and China, but the good thing is that now obviously the two parties are willing to sit down to talk about the trade tensions that are between the two countries. Someone was spreading the rumors, or I saw someone spreading the rumors of saying that Trump administration is considering delisting Chinese equities. Man, we have those tricks, we read about them previously, and I don't think they can come back, or they can be maybe put on the table. But let's wait. You never know. But me, I'm just going to continue loading the boat whenever I can, because I know blue sky is coming. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one, and God bless you all.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic.